And we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to What's Politicking You Up. I'm long hair Linda.
And I'm Mike from Red Line Pictures.
Mike is back.
I'm back. I had to have a break. I was in like a full-blown little mental health crisis. I was like, I could not hack having to talk about Matt Hancock, the dirty pervert, right? I just couldn't hack it. I physically couldn't face it. But this week, surprisingly, I feel like I am ready to dump all over the Tories. So yes. I'm here.
Favorite activity. We love to see it.
Always. Yes.
Always. Well, it's great to have you back. I'm glad that you are feeling better. And you were very missed. If you guys joined in not last week, the week before last show, I was joined by special guest co-host Vix, who was fantastic and hates the Tories. So it was hilarious how she would just go off. It was fantastic to watch.
And me and Vicky watched it, and Vicky was like, "I love him. I love Linda anyway, but I love her as well." I was just like,
Vix is great. She's fantastic. Like, I see her all the time on my timeline on Twitter, and she honestly just brightens up my day every single time. So yeah, super, super exciting. Oh, Flawless is joining us. I don't know if he intended to do that, but
he should come in though. Come and talk Tories.
Let's talk about the Tories. Flawless, if you can hear us, he's on mute. I don't know what he's doing, but let's press on. So, guys, we have Canna Devil in the building. Hello. Big up to you as well. Shall we get started with the hot topics from the last couple of weeks? And I think Flawless has just changed the background. Please ignore what is going on in the background. I feel like he's on the wrong broadcast. This man has 17,000 shows. He does not know which one he's on right now. In fact, let me kick him out. Can I kick him out?
I would imagine so. There we go.
There we go.
He'll come back in a second.
He'll come back in. I don't think he realizes. Let me text him while we do this. But let's get started, and you can have a chat about this, Mike, while I try and get Flawless together. So the first hot topic from the last couple of weeks was that Matt Hancock resigned after his little mishap came out in the public eye, and Sajid Javid replaced him as the health secretary. I can see you have a lot of your mind, Mike. Please feel free to go.
Right. He's literally gone and got who he wanted to be there anyway for a pandemic. He's gone for the guy who is the most anti-lockdown front bencher he can find and gone, right, I can pin all this on you like I was going to do on Hancock anyway, because you're well up for killing and murdering thousands of people without even thinking about it. Like, oh God, I don't know if it was possible to get a worse choice pick from that front bench. I mean, hell, I would have rather had Theresa May. That would have made slightly more sense.
Are you kidding? That would have been a dream. That would have been a dream. I would never think that Theresa May getting any kind of position for me would have been a dream, but that would have been a dream.
It would have been, and that's the scary thing. I didn't realize we could get worse. And he's gone in double-footed and gone, right, the country can fuck off. And then I don't know how it could have been worse.
Oh, but they manage it, don't they? Sasha, hello. Thank you for the comment. I am well. Mike has mentioned he was well as well, and hope you are as well. Thank you for tuning in. Canna Devil said, how is Hancock getting more girls than him? Fam, I don't know. I don't know.
Power. It's just power. Like, if you think about Boris, it's literally got to be power, because it's not on their looks or their ability to be nearly normal people. Oh God. Oh, it's so depressing. Like, I honestly thought with this, what's coming up at the end of this month, we would have got through without too many horrible things going on, and then they put this in right at the very end. It's scary. Like, because even if we have a catastrophe now and we have a bunch of new variants what are resistant to the vaccines, they won't do anything about it. they won't do anything about it because the rich people will still stay fairly safe in comparison to the poor frontline workers that have already gone through all this once.
Absolutely.
If that isn't terrifying to absolutely everyone, I don't know what is.
What's frustrating is that people who are in dire straits, who even if they do benefit from the status quo, aren't really going to benefit that much, like, or as much as, how do I phrase this? Like, they'll have slight benefits, like, you know, by having the current power structure in place, but not enough that the people that they love and care about aren't going to suffer. That they, you know, they're still not going to be working all of the hours and paying all of the tax that supports the country and getting absolutely fuck all back from the system that they are paying into with blood, sweat, and tears, literally, right? So that's what's always been the most frustrating thing to me. There are going to be people that are going to be in it for themselves. It happens all the time. That's life, right? But what's infuriating is that the people who have the power to actually stop these people having this much power over us and having this much say-so are just going along with it and are just not asked, as long as they can watch the football on a Friday and maybe it's coming home, or they can go for drinks and, you know, like, do you understand that you are being...
I don't know if I've gone down or Linda's internet's gone down, but yeah, I fully agree, Linda. If you can hear me, I don't know what's happening. The scary thing is about Javid. The NHS is basically falling. There you go. You're back.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Panic. I don't know what's happening on my laptop. I'm so sorry.
I was watching the news this morning, and it seems like Javid's first thing what he's going to be having to do is tell people who work for the NHS who have been contacted by the NHS app that they don't have to self-isolate if they've been double jabbed because the NHS hasn't got enough staff. If that happens, isn't that going to spread it more? Because even if you've got it and you've had the double jab, you can still pass it. It's the weirdest scramble to stop us having to stay in lockdown I've ever seen in a meeting. But yeah, Boris is messing with Linda's Wi-Fi, definitely.
100%. It's definitely what's happening, kind of devil. Listen, it's all mad. It's all mad. Sajid just doesn't... he doesn't give me the impression that he gives a shit about our health, which is kind of an important thing for a new health secretary, I think. Maybe it's just me. But yeah, he's giving, I don't care. He's giving... pandemic, I'm fine. I don't care. Like, money. Let's make money. Yeah. I don't care about who and what health professionals need and how many people are going to end up dying and catching the new variant and doing whatever else. Like, it's fine. Just money. Let's all make money. And by all, I mean him and his friends. So that's who we have as health secretary. So that's just fantastic. I don't really know what else to say. It's just that's where we live right now, guys.
It's the most Tory of Tory things that I've seen in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from the turnaround of Boris saying no, the issue's resolved, he was gone the day after. That is the best Toryism of the whole pandemic, I believe. I don't know where Linda's gone.
I'm still here.
Is she back?
I don't know what's going on. I'm so sorry. I think it's the topic that we're on, guys. The government does not want this out. I don't know if we're just like reaching very important people, and they are scared. I think that's what's happening. Okay, so yeah, that was the first bit of news on the hot topic. Let's see what's going on in the comments. I'm so sorry, I've been distracted by my computer issues that I've not been looking. So big up you two, smash the likes up and subscribe, people. 100% agree, Dan Levitt. I don't believe all the new variant BS. Huh, okay, why?
Yeah,
like, what would be the point in making it up? I'd be interested to know. Genuine question, not taking the piss. Oxford Gaming says Copa America is this channel broadcast.
I believe that Flawless will be hosting a Copa America live stream. He's doing all that, but Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
This isn't a football. This is just politics. Yeah.
Glad you knew what that meant. I had no idea. Sasha says, a banker in charge of the health department. What could possibly go on? Honestly, Sasha, you're asking the right questions. And Ravi agrees. Sasha, facts. Yeah, it's all mad. We live in a mad place, guys. We live in a very, very mad place, but it doesn't matter because it's coming home. The next story in our hot topics. The government is to pay Good Law Project's legal fees. So I found this little story out recently.
Lovely
I think
stuff.
I mentioned the initial case a few episodes ago, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
And I saw this article pop up on my feed and I was very excited. So I would love to share this with you if I can. And the link to this, if you want to read it yourself, is in the description, guys. So the Good Law Project wrote this article on the 25th of June and said, we are pleased to report that the High Court has ordered the government to pay 75% of our costs in our successful legal challenge against Michael Gove for the unlawful award of a contract to associates of his and Dominic Cummings at Public First. So if you remember, well, you probably are aware if you're watching this show anyway, there's been a lot that's been going on in terms of the scandals over what was happening over the pandemic with the contracts they were giving out, the PPE contracts, all that kind of stuff. There's been so many questions of, all right, but where is this public money going? Where is it ending up? And every single time people were pulling at these threads, including investigative journalists, people were looking into it. And it was always someone that was related to or mates with the person handing out the contracts, the person in charge of handing out the contracts and dispersing of public funds. So the Good Law Project has been challenging them in court. And this is a step, in my opinion, showing us that the fact that the High Court is saying, first of all, you got to pay legal fees, because in usual cases, if you have in civil court cases, if you win, then the person who has to pay you whatever the damages and the punitive costs and all of that are also has to pay your legal fees. So to me, this is a really great sign that the High Court is ordering the government to pay the Good Law Project's legal fees, because it's a sign that actually the government has been fucking up, and it's a sign that the justice system is recognizing it, which is, I guess, the best we can hope for, because no one's getting in trouble yet. But this is kind of a sign of that, even though, you know, the government paying the legal fees means that we pay the legal fees. But I mean, Mike, you go.
Right. The Good Law Project are the most serious form of opposition this country has. The fact that they do more to hold this government to account than the Labour Party.
Don't
right?
Even.
They do more to hold them account than the police. They do more to hold them account than the Queen and the royal family. Good Law Project do more for this country than all of the above, and all they're doing is going, hey, they broke the law. They've broke the law. They keep on breaking the law.
Guys, hello. The law's been broken.
I don't know how many times when I was on Twitter, it was one of my favorite people to follow, just because it was what I deemed fairly good news, because it was watch us dunk all over the government in court in front of everyone, and it happened time and time again. It's great it's happening, but it's also kind of sad because it's us picking up that tab again. Like it was when the bullying happened and we had to pay out from certain members of the thing, which we'll be talking about again in a little bit, I believe. I don't understand how this can happen and no one in government still be held to account.
Like, literally nobody. Like, there have been more repercussions to getting caught snogging somebody that isn't your wife than stealing money. Because let's call it what it is. It's stealing money. It's theft. It's corruption. Yep. It is funneling money to your friends and your family members under the guise of creating systems or providing healthcare workers with personal protection equipment during a global pandemic. I mean, the fact that every single media story, every single fucking news outlet that we have isn't going insane right now. The fact that the Labour Party isn't up in arms.
Because they know they do the same, though. That's probably why.
Everybody else, all of the independents, everyone. I don't know why. Everybody that is not a Tory, that is in government or in the press, isn't outside right now marching, going insane. I don't understand it. We've just had a global pandemic, and the people that were supposed to protect our healthcare professionals so that they can protect us were stealing public money that was supposed to help them. Why is no one losing their mind? I feel like I'm going insane sometimes. Like I have to just, every time I see these stories, every new thing that breaks, every new scandal, I'm like, and put it in the notes for what's politicking you off. And I'm just not going to read it until I can deal with it. I can't keep seeing it all the time. And no one's doing anything. No one's getting fired. No one's getting arrested. No one's getting sued, apart from obviously what the Good Law Project is doing. No one's doing anything. We're just sitting about hoping for Freedom Day. What are we doing? Like, what is happening? What is going on? Seriously. Am I insane?
No. You're acting like everyone should be. Like, I believe, unless you are at the top of the pile. Like, unless you're that Tory at the top of the pile, everyone else.
Even at the top of the pile, to remain at the top of the pile, you need workers. You're killing off the workers. You're killing off the workers. If we still have a class system, and even if it benefits you, you're killing off everybody that allows you to hoard your wealth. What are you going to do when there's nobody to do the jobs you don't want to do? What's going to happen? Have you thought this? Like, even if you don't care about people's lives, even if you don't care about their well-being, even if you don't care about their mental and physical health, do you not care that you'll have no one to make all the money for you?
I would imagine they don't care because, like, they realise robots, they're literally doing everything for us, so we don't really need poor people anymore.
That is good.
Automation, if you can do automation, you don't have to pay taxes on hiring people. It's literally, I'm going to make as much money as physically possible. That's why Amazon can have bots fire drivers.
That's a good shout.
In the name of making the most profit as physically possible. We can do what we want, and automation is literally going to push every young or fringe, like, outsider or lower, or just anyone who's not doing well is going to be out of a job. Like, unless you are highly trained as an engineer or you know that side of stuff, I don't know where you're going to be planning to do. Like,
you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Maybe the higher ups do not give a shit about whether we live or die en masse, because they don't care about individuals, but I mean en masse like this. Maybe it is because there's something that's in addition to what we already have on the market, in addition to all the automation that we currently have. Maybe there's something coming that's really going to make it all dystopian, like my favorite movies. I'm not excited about this. I just really like dystopian movies and aesthetics.
Yeah, I can't wait until we're living in Blade Runner.
Honestly, same. It sounds crazy. It does. I know it sounds, but it looks fun.
Yeah.
I mean, apart from all the terrible stuff that happened, but terrible stuff's happening now. At least I can have fun while it's terrible.
At least I can have a laser. That's what a laser blaster, and that's it.
The car goes, mate. Anyway, I think we've gone off topic, but we said all that to say that the Good Law Project is doing great work. Very proud of you. Everyone that's involved with it is just you're doing amazing, sweetie. And hopefully more rulings like this, more rulings to show that we aren't insane here in amongst ourselves when we're talking about the issues, and that there is going to be, hopefully, at some point, some repercussions for the people that are supposed to be in charge of us, robbing us blind on a daily basis. Before I move on to the next hot topic, let me go through these comments because they have been flashing by and I've not been looking. Sorry, guys. So Canna Devil answered my question about the variant being fake and said no variants for a year, and as soon as we start to get back to normal, out comes a variant for every letter of the alphabet come out. Okay, I think I know what you mean. That's a fair thing to say-ish, but the variants had been happening last year. It's just that they weren't happening here. And this is the worst one. So the Delta variant originated, I think, when they started looking at it in India. And because international flights were still just fine, everyone just come on in and that's okay. No quarantining, no checking anything. That's how it's being explained to us that the Delta variant came here.
Well, we had the Kent variant as well. We had the Kent variant last year.
Sorry, I forgot that.
Which was a big worry at the time, because they thought that was the first one which showed signs like it would be completely resistant, but then they realised that's not how these vaccines work. So it's not like a traditional vaccine. This is a whole brand new kettle of fish, this type of vaccine. So they didn't know how this type of variant on the outside, I can't even remember if it's a protein spike or whatever, if that would make a difference, but it doesn't. So variants happen. The more people travel, the more people it gets a chance to
and
go from person to person, and person to person. And then I can imagine genetics probably play a little bit of difference into it, how it presents to different people. And
I mean, even look at how people have been reacting differently to the same virus. People have had wildly different reactions. I caught COVID, was fine, had a few naps, I was all right. Other people have literally died from complications caused by COVID. So, yeah, I think it is person to person, like you say. It depends on your genetic makeup and everyone intermingling. Of course, you're going to get variants. It's like the flu, like anything. For me, that kind of makes sense. I'm no scientist. It just makes sense to me, I guess. But that's fair, Canada Devil. Feel how you feel. No shame in here at all. I understand what you're saying. I always like to think to what end. Every time I have a theory that's a bit like an outlier type theory, I don't want to call it conspiracy because I feel there's a connotation to that. But whenever I have a theory that's, not the norm from what we were being told in the media or by whoever professionals, I try to think of to what end. What's the most evil people? What's the end goal? I just don't see the Delta variant being a thing that they will just come up with, but that's just me. Josh FC says hello all. Hello to you. Amy is in the building. Hey,
hello, Amy.
It's totally stolen that from Nick. How is everyone? Very well, Josh. How are you? Also says, come on, England. Do you know what's mad? I'm really torn between being like, mate, it is coming home. I'm torn between that and these England fans are such shithouses that I don't want them to get anything. But then if they don't get anything, that means the team that's working really hard, the Sterlings, the Rashfords, all of them lot that are working crazy hard and doing amazing things better than the men's team have done for so long, it feels like they're not going to get rewarded for their efforts, and I don't want that. So you know what? Come on, England, it's coming home. Ravi says, what is this about NHS staff might not need to isolate?
Yeah, the NHS, as you can imagine, have probably more interactions with COVID holding people than the general public. So with that being said, a lot of people have been pinged on the NHS app and told that you need to self-isolate. Under the guidance at the moment, even if you're double vaccinated, you're supposed to self-isolate because you can still pass it from person to person. But they're saying we're that screwed. We're probably going to need to start telling people to ignore that if they are double vaccinated, which I don't know how I feel. And if they can do that for NHS staff, are they going to start doing that for, say, servers in restaurants and bars, which is a little bit worrying because, it's just going to be at the end of the day, the floodgates are open now. No one's going to care. And now it's just about trying to get people back into that working environment, and if they catch it, they catch it. Sodom. That's how it's coming across. Yeah,
it's the vibe. It's definitely the vibe of the government right now. It's all right. Well, back to work, guys. So I agree with that, Mike. I feel like it's a slippery slope. I feel like if they say that about NHS staff, they could say that about hospitality. They could say that about retail. They can eventually say that about office workers, those useless papers that are going to be obsolete in 10 years that you need to do. You need to go do them now. If you die, you die. That's the vibe. So,
yes, completely.
Yeah, very wild. And let's be clear, even if you are double vaxxed, I'm also now double vaxxed. Even if you are double vaxxed, it means that the COVID symptoms that you experience if you do catch COVID, one, you're less likely to catch COVID, but if you do catch COVID, also they're going to be less severe is the aim of these vaccinations, right? So that doesn't mean, though, that you can't still catch it and spread it to somebody else who maybe isn't double vaxxed or who's a bit more vulnerable than you are. So
apparently COVID shows different, it presents as different symptoms if you are double vaccinated as well. So you could, like, sneezing isn't one of them. So you could think like you just got a cold at this point. If you're double vaccinated, then you're going to go, oh, I'm all right. And because it presents literally sneezing, head cold, like type of symptoms, it's not as chest heavy, should we say. It's not
the whole cough thing.
Yeah, you will still have like a persistent cough, but you sneezing and stuff like that's thrown in there, and that's not ever been put in the same bracket as this. So we're going to start seeing a whole different side to COVID now. There's going to be a lot of people who are double vaccinated who don't think like they've got it because they're presenting with just a common cold.
Yeah,
like type symptoms, and will just like if people are starting to get forced to go back into offices.
That's what happens when the government's like, yeah, everything's going back to normal. Then what are you going to say to your shit ass employer that's like, no, come into the office? Like, even though you've been working from home this whole time and we've shown you can do that, no, come into the office though. Do you want your job? Come into the office. That's what's happening. Like, yeah. And just on that note as well, which is wild, I really have seen the benefit of not being around people and their germs, because I usually, ever since I went vegan, I stopped getting loads of colds. I get one cold a year, especially when I quit smoking as well. Like literally one cold once a year. If I've been interacting with far too many people, it might be two, like a, 1.5, 2 type thing, but usually it's one. In the last 16 months, nothing. I got a really bad cold, which I'm still low-key convinced was COVID, before lockdown, the first lockdown, and then nothing. I have not had a cold this entire time. So touch wood, that stays that way. But I think that goes to show that just not being around people so much. Because I started going into the office I started going back into the office, a different office between October and I want to say March time. And I started feeling a bit like, oh, not a cold, but I started feeling like just gross. It's just, it might have just been in my mind, but I definitely see the benefit. What I'm saying is I'm glad that I'm fully working from home now with all of the million jobs I have, to really just, even though it means I'm isolated a lot, it also means I'm not around a lot of people and their germs. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I would stay well.
Completely agree with that.
Alan says, I didn't realize how much I'd missed you both until I just tuned in and saw you. Alan, I miss you loads too. I haven't seen you in going on 2 months because we didn't do a June special. We haven't been able to get our schedules together and it's shit, and I miss you as well.
I always miss you, Alan. You know
that. Canada Devil says, anyone who tries anything would probably be killed. I'm guessing anyone who tries anything against the government is what you were saying, Canada Devil. And you know what? I agree. I've seen enough movies. Sasha says, the trauma of living through this morally bankrupt government's so-called leadership is unreal. You get me, Sasha. You absolutely get me. It's literally my daily existence. Canada Devil says, surely humans would be cheaper than robots considering you'd have to maintain them. It's actually probably more expensive to maintain humans because we need random shit like healthcare and food and stuff.
And we have to work certain hours, whereas a robot
you have to have laws
and work. Yeah, like
thank you EU, by the way. Thank you EU that they can't force us to work more than 48 hours in a week. So yeah. Canada Devil then says 2040 could be some Mad Max.
Agreed.
Can't wait. I think that's honestly, right? Because I was saying to you before we went live, Mike, that like I've been working out more and trying to do better so that, to try and offset some of the weight gain during the pandemic. Low key though, I'm also kind of training to be extra strong in case of like a zombie apocalypse or some shit. Because I feel like if we all caught COVID like this, we only need one crazy scientist, like, something. I'm just saying, if there's a zombie apocalypse,
that zombies could be real.
Jump, yeah.
But so just wait. Zombies is in literally the living dead, like the dead they died and come back to life, or more like 28 days later type of thing, where it's like a type of rabies type of thing.
Yes, that. More like literally a virus that is fucking with people and making them crazy. I'm just saying, I've seen footage of people on K2 and they are mad. So if you can do that with K2, what can you do that with an accidental fucking virus? What if you K2 mixed with COVID? Oh my God, they're just going to be coughing and killing people everywhere. It's going to be mental. I'm just saying, I want to be prepared. That's what I'm trying to say. I'll be able to run and jump over buildings and just do shit to survive.
You want to turn into Superman? Is that what you're saying?
No, more like, you know how like every single zombie show or film, you have like the people who always get left in the back. Like people are always running. There's always running, right? It's never any safety anyway. You're just constantly on the move. Always got a backpack, running, getting as much as you can, running, getting as much as you can. That's literally all they do, right? Think Black Summer, because you've been watching that recently as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
So you see how they're always on the move, and the slow ones and the old ones get eaten. So I'm trying to, be have a bit more endurance and bit quicker, able to like lift my body weight and jump over something. Like I might need to jump over a car or like a fence or something. I need to be able to actually do that. So that's really what I'm training for. Less of the weight loss.
Jump over cars.
Yeah, I want to jump
over.
I
appreciate that. When you actually do it, I want you to film it and let me see it.
Oh, I am. Oh, if I can actually jump over a car, I will legit film it and put it on. Not even just you. I will put it online. Guys, jump over a car. Anyway, I digress. Daredevil says, wait, Linda slept off COVID. Low-key, I really did. I just literally napped for about 2 days on and off, still doing work from home, and I woke up, I was fine. Listen, I'm not saying that's what happens to everyone. It clearly doesn't. I'm very fortunate, and I know that. Malcolm Zilla, big up the man dem. Big up to you as well. I think this is Sentiment's name. I feel like he does dupe MCFC as well. No, I might be wrong. No, this is Sentiment. My bad. Hang on.
Yeah.
Dirty Peasants and the Germs. Yes, that is definitely Sentiment. Dupe MCFC. My bad.
Big up
as well. All right, should we get on to the next hot topic and stop talking about me jumping over cars to get away from zombies? All right, so police are investigating after Chris Whitty was accosted in the park. Have you seen this footage on Twitter?
I saw it, but it weren't on Twitter. They've both been charged, haven't they? Both of them have been charged. Both went from an anti-vax protest to giving him a headlock and thinking, oh, yeah, this is going to seem friendly. Shut up.
Oh, wild. That footage made me so uncomfortable. Like, yeah, no matter what, like, even you see how passionate we get on this show about, what politicians are doing, what people that are supposed to have power over us, if they're doing the wrong thing or whatever. I would never just accost someone like that. That was crazy to me. That just felt really uncomfortable. Horrible. And just really like, I was just very, very uncomfortable. So yeah, guys, don't do that. When I say everyone should be going mad and paying more attention to what's happening and making a bigger deal of it, I'm not saying literally physically go and attack people. No, absolutely not. But I'm glad that they've both been charged. I think there should have definitely been repercussions for that.
I think I saw that they was going to bring in laws about Joe accosting public figures because it happened to the BBC reporter as well, what got chased down. So I feel like they are actually trying to bring in laws to circumvent that type of behaviour from the general public, which is good, I guess, but it depends on the wording because I feel like that could be used to like disperse like protest very easily.
It's a slippery slope again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough one because you want something in place to stop, to deter people from doing this type of shit, but you don't want it to then be used to further constrict our freedoms as people. I'm just scanning this BBC article to see if they mention anything about it, but I don't think that they do. But if we get any news on that, that'll be on the next episode, I'm sure. All right, guys. So, fourth story. This is a good one. The world's largest ever trial of a 4-day working week and reduced working time in Iceland was an overwhelming success and should be tested in the UK, researchers have said. So I'll tell you a little bit of detail about it, but if you want to actually see more information and links to the trial and all their findings and stuff, you can find that in the description. So More than 1% of Iceland's working population took part in the pilot program, which cut the working week to 35 to 36 hours with no reduction in overall pay. Joint analysis by think tanks in Iceland and the UK found that the trials, which ran from 2015 to 2019 and involved more than 2,500 people, boosted productivity and well-being and are already leading to permanent changes. Iceland's trade union federations, Icelandic trade union federations, which collectively negotiate wages and conditions for most Icelandic employees, have already begun to negotiate reduced working hours as a result. The researchers estimate that as a result of the new agreement struck in 2019 to 2021, after the trials ended, 86% of Iceland's entire working population now either have reduced working hours or flexibility within their contracts to reduce hours. It goes on about where the trials were done, etc. And then it says the joint analysis carried out by the think tanks Autonomy in the UK and the Association for Sustainability and Democracy in Iceland found that the well-being of workers who took part improved dramatically across a range of indicators. Perceived stress and burnout, as well as health and work-life balance, were significantly improved across practically all groups. And as a result, researchers say productivity and service provision remained the same or improved across a majority of workplaces included in the trial. So what they're saying is that they should really introduce that everywhere. And a lot of researchers are trying to, because some of the think tanks, the people involved in that were UK based or from the UK, they're saying let's give it a whirl here. What do you think about that, Mike? Would you be more productive with a shorter work week?
I think everyone would be. UK workers' rights ground to a halt in the 70s. Nothing has changed for the benefit of the workers since then, really, outside of discrimination-based arguments. Nothing for the actual... So if you're telling me workers could have 4 days instead of 5 days, get paid the same, yeah, you are probably going to work better for them. Like, it just makes more sense. Like, you're going to be fresher. Like, you're going to be happier because you're not going to be off stressed as much because you've got more time to relax. It's what I predict as a very easy, clear win, but it'll be argued against because people like to exploit.
Yes.
Like, but that's the easiest argument is what we've already said there is if you look at how hard people fought for those rights, for the weekend, for bank holidays, it really did grind to a stop in mid-70s when the Labour Party stopped being the Labour Party before it became New Labour. Like, it was just deemed as a bunch of really, really wild left-wing, near communist party members. And I feel that's what stopped the UK from progressing that, because it was always deemed as so far left wing, it's not reasonable. But when you actually really think about it, how is it not?
I mean, it's crazy because if it's showing you that I think the issue that we have is the very exploitative nature of major employers in this country. They're not concerned with well-being, and it's so stupid because if your workers are happy, they're going to do good work. I don't get why that's such a difficult concept for leaders, for employers, for managers, whoever. And it shows it. They have a whole study that was conducted over 4 years to really, make it to show how it can actually work in the long term, that it's not just a quick, your first month, you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. I get Fridays off. Awesome. No, for 4 years, they worked reduced hours. For 4 years, they were paid the same reduced hours. And for all 4 years, research shows that they were happier, that their well-being improved, and that ultimately their productivity improved. And if you don't want that as an employer, then what the fuck are you employing people for at this point?
Yeah, basically. It's a scary thing to feel. This will be fought against the most from the working class as well in this country.
Oh, 100%, like we were saying earlier, they will be convinced that it doesn't work in their favor, and they will work against their own interests, their own well-being, to back people that really couldn't give a single shit about them or their lives.
And if offices are open, say 7 days a week, or workplaces are, it probably means you'd have to employ more people, so the employment rate would be lower. Just saying, like, seems like a win-win from both sides of it. Like
the unemployment rate,
yeah, like that would definitely clear up a little bit. Like,
but then that costs them more. That's slightly less profits for them.
Yeah, but it means that if you can run 7 days instead of, like, because people will be working, you probably be able to work 7 days, like have an office open 7 days, and people still be working 4 on 4 off or whatever. Like, just there is ways that they'll try and save costs, should we say, out of that. Like, it'd be,
that's true, more
people getting put on 0-hour contracts, I feel.
Oh god, yeah, we do not
but that's why 0-hour contracts should be outlawed. Like, they shouldn't be illegal. They should be illegal.
That's, yeah, you're asking for too much, Mike. You're asking for way too much.
I know.
All right, well, since we're talking about offices and everyone being outside, government announced 19th of July is the new Freedom Day. I fucking hate that term so much. I fucking hate that they've taken that term. That term means so much to so many other countries. It's insane. Our new Freedom Day is the 19th of July, and there will be no legal restrictions anywhere in England on and from that date. So, Mike, thoughts? Are you happy? Are you going to be outside? What's going on?
Like we said before, like, as soon as that date was announced, everyone just went, "Oh, it's open now." Let's face it. So, 19th doesn't really mean shit at this point. It just doesn't. Like, everyone's doing whatever they want at this point. All it means is more people will be able to go do that shit maskless.
Yeah. All the people that have been complaining about masks are the ones that are mad happy right now.
Yeah. Like, wildly. And then obviously nightclubs and stuff open, like nightlife getting back to normal, which would be great. I'm not going to dispute that. I'm double vaccinated, so I'm slightly less scared about going out to them type of places. But people haven't basically stopped getting the vaccine at this point. So there's a lot of people.
That is a story coming up. Yeah. So
personally, for me, my point of view, not much will change apart from I can go out and see my mates on a night out properly. I'm a little bit worried about the fact that it's coming and nowhere near enough people are vaccinated. Yes.
Yeah, I think for me, the good thing, let's start with the positives. The good thing for the 19th of July was that nightclubs will be open. I know that a lot of people have not been at work because of that. So that's a good thing. I'm not going to lie, very selfishly, battle rap events can now go ahead. I'm very excited about that because that's literally my entire social life. I don't do anything else for the most part. But on that note, like I literally, that's not going to change that. Like, I'll be able to start going to events again and then go for a drink after. That's pretty much it. For me, I'm still going to be wearing masks where I can. I just, like I said before, I haven't had a cold in 16 months. I'm not trying to catch whatever you lot have, even if it ain't COVID. I'm double vaxxed, great, but I'm not trying to catch whatever you lot have. So I'm likely still going to be wearing masks a lot of the time indoors. But yeah, I mean, other than that, it's not really going to change much for me. I pretty much spend most of my time at home, and I think that it is very dangerous to have such low vaccination numbers and just be like, nah, everything's open, we're good. But I am also looking forward to going away. So that's kind of selfish. But I need to leave this country just for a bit, just enjoy something different. And yeah, so that's how I feel about that. But it's on its way. They've said come hell or high water, 19th of July, man. It's happening.
So I've always been under the illusion, like, a lot of these anti-maskers, anti-vaxxers have probably 2 years ago been complaining about Big Brother filming them constantly. So now they've got an excuse to wear a mask. They've just decided, no, that's cool, film us.
Yeah.
So now we just need to convince them lot again that Big Brother's after them and they'll all mask up.
And we need to keep giving free masks. You know how, like, all supermarkets and stuff, like they give you a mask if you don't have one. We need to keep doing that. So keep giving free masks, and then start putting like little messages out, go on Facebook, because that's where it starts, and start putting posts out about Big Brother watching you, and wearing a mask means that they can't identify you and all that kind of stuff. Start doing that, and then hopefully, because they're not getting vaxxed, they'll protect us as much as possible, because it's like 70% protection, I think it was. But
that's my plan anyway. I'm going to start spreading Big Brother disinformation just so people can't give me COVID.
I love it. Sentiment said, surely closing office spaces would be a massive cost cut, lights, rental space. Yes, but you're using way too much common sense right now. That's where you went wrong.
Every company what's had people working from home at this point, they have saved a fortune, because they're getting they've got all their staff pick up.
Especially if you're hiring in the pandemic, you haven't needed to provide any equipment. You haven't needed to provide phones or laptops or anything. People are just literally working with what they have. They have saved a ton of money. They're the smart ones, like the ones who adapted and changed things around and got rid of their offices and just used spaces for like meetings and stuff, like there's office spaces that you can rent out, meeting rooms and all that kind of stuff. That's what they did. They're the innovative ones. They're the ones that are going to make it all the way through this. There are just these people that are so stuck in their ways, and unfortunately they're responsible for hiring or employing so many people that you can't speak to them. Like, there's no sense. It drives me up the wall. But speaking of the whole maskless and everything happening for 19th of July, Sentiment says, guessing from the crowd in Wimbledon, Wembley, you would think could never existed, especially between the old codgers and the most vulnerable. Yeah, everyone is acting like it never happened. Pandemic where? COVID, what's that? I don't know. Everyone's fine. Everyone is fine. Everyone's doing whatever they want to do until they're not fine. And then it's a burden on the NHS and all that kind of stuff. But who cares? The next story, I say that very facetiously, guys. Don't clip this and act like and act like I don't give a shit. I love the NHS. I'm forever grateful to the NHS. Vaccine uptake in England almost halves amid mixed messages. So this is what you were talking about, Mike. So there's an article in The Guardian. Again, it's linked in the description if you would like to read it for yourself. Do not just take my word for it. So COVID-19 vaccine uptake in England has almost halved over the past fortnight. This article was written on Thursday the 8th, with health experts blaming mixed government messaging about normality returning on the 19th of July. Analysis from The Guardian found that take-up had particularly slowed among people under the age of 30 in the last 3 weeks after an initial surge of enthusiasm that the government likened to a Glastonbury-style rush. That was corny as hell. There have been no significant supply issues reported with any of the 3 coronavirus vaccines licensed in the UK. I can't read anymore. So basically they start to talk about different areas in Manchester, the areas that have, dropped off in terms of vaccinations. So effectively there was this kind of rush where people were so into the idea of getting vaccinated, particularly young people. And now it's slowed down significantly. So
yes,
worrying,
and partly their fault. I put that out there as well, because we've noticed when Vicky's been looking for vaccination places, everywhere what I was able to get, because I was on one of the really early ones because of vulnerabilities, I had loads what I could pick from. Vicky's got to go clear the other side of town, like the closing places to get it, like, so no one can. People who don't want to travel, say, to a hotspot where there is a vaccination center, they're just not going to go. It makes it's scarier to go to there than it is to just go. I'll wait until hopefully one opens up closer to where I am again, because I can imagine that is a big deal for most people, because they won't want to travel. They won't want to go way out the way, possibly on public transport. To get this, they've shot themselves in their own foot. Like it's dumb. Like, it's the only way I can put it. It's dumb. Like, it's
I don't really see that getting better either, especially once things start to open again. I mean, a lot of these places were facilities that weren't originally healthcare facilities. For example, where I go, it's like a sports place, a sports center. You know, there've been all sorts of different spaces that aren't usually anything to do with healthcare that have been turned into or converted into spaces where you can go and get vaccinated. Once the world the country opens back up, they're going to be back to their normal, whatever activity is. So surely that's not going to be the issue of not having anywhere close isn't going to get any better now suddenly, because there's going to be less spaces of anything.
Well, unless they're thinking we can palm this off on the GPs practices to do, Joe, like they do with flu shots and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but I'd argue that they're not doing that, because if you try to get a GP's appointment at the moment, you're not allowed to go to that into the offices unless you're invited by your GP and they've confirmed that you've not got COVID. So now they're going to be telling everyone who's not been vaccinated to go to there. It's a little bit.
But it will be, isn't it a nurse practitioner that will do it, right? It's a nurse practitioner that administers it. Yes. Yeah. Well, no, because I've never had a flu.
Yeah. It's a nurse. Yeah.
Nurse practitioner. Okay. So, yeah, you need to. Yeah. How's that gonna? I mean, you shouldn't go and get the vaccine if you've had COVID symptoms anyway. So I guess you wouldn't. Yeah. That wouldn't be the issue. But yeah, if you can't even get an appointment, then how are you going to get in to get vaccinated? Yeah, that doesn't make sense. And they're going to have to transfer
all the frozen, like,
yes, to the GP practices, and that's still not going to be every GP practice, because that's not going to work either. No. Yeah, how are they going to do that? That is weird.
Like, I've generally been worried about that for a little bit, because it feels like they haven't got any plans. Like, you'll probably end up using like one of the Trafford Centre car parks for 1 week, and then they'll move it to, say, Bolton's football ground car park, and that it's the only way I see it like moving forward, because
like pop-up vaccine.
There's not going to be anywhere to do it.
That is, I didn't even occur to me, but now I'm like racking my brain trying to figure out how the fuck they're going to maneuver this. But then we have Sajid Javid as our health secretary, so he doesn't care. So nothing might happen. Okay, yeah, that's a pickle. But again, the link to the Guardian's article is in the description if you want to have a read. So, last story on the hot topics. I'm not gonna lie, guys. This one, I haven't read the particulars, so let me start there. I do not want to sound like I'm an authority on it in any way, shape, or form. Like I'm informed as I should be on it, in order to discuss it at length. So I will try and just keep my opinions to a minimum and go off what I know of this government rather than the particulars, because I don't want to speak on it and get it wrong. I would highly encourage you guys to click the link in the description and have a look at the new immigration and asylum bill yourself.
I'll be back in 1 second. I've got thought on that as well.
Okay. So yeah, I highly recommend, guys, that you just take your time and click the link in the description, read it yourself. I do not want to be a distributor of fake news in any way, shape, or form. And it will literally be my opinion. There will be no fact, because I haven't read it in detail. So the link in the description is to the freemovement.org.uk or freemovement.org.uk, not the, there's no the. And they have actually linked to the bill itself and given like a little summary. So I'm just going to go through the summary with you guys, and me and Mike are going to give our opinions on what we know from the summaries. Okay, again, do the reading for yourself, please. Be informed. I will do it. I just couldn't handle it this weekend or this week. So the much hyped, this is the article now, the much hyped nationality and borders bill is here, and they've linked it in this article. It mainly addresses asylum issues, but there are some nationality provisions included as well. My first impression, so this is the person writing this article, and I can't see their name. Maybe I'll see it at the end and I'll be able to come back to this. But my first impressions reading through the bill are that a lot of it is already law, so it isn't actually very new at all. Number two, the bits that are new are likely to lead to a lot of uncertainty and litigation, which is good for lawyers, but bad for refugees and the public purse. Number three, there is some genuine nastiness included. This was not a surprise to me. And then number four, the bill will only worsen the problems with the United Kingdom's current asylum system. So, I don't even know which parts to read from, because it's None of it's good news, guys. This isn't the good news segment. None of it's good news. Mike, you go while I try and get myself together.
How can I put this? It's a way of making the UK seem as intolerant to poor people as possible. To make it seem as the last place that anyone would, in their right mind, would want to come if they're poor. If you're genuinely fleeing war, you wouldn't want to come here anyway. That's what they're trying to say. We're just as bad as where you are. That's top to bottom. See, I actually run off to get a beer because of this conversation.
It's so, honestly, it's the worst. I didn't even want to have this conversation, but I felt like it had to be included because it's a hot topic. I just didn't even want to do it. I didn't want to do it today. I really didn't. I've had a busy week. I did not want to be fucked with this at all, but we are where we are. Yeah, those are the first impressions I'm getting as well, Mike, is that they do not want poor people here. They do not give a shit if you are running away from anything. They don't care if you are from a war-torn country, if you are being persecuted, which is the whole point of asylum and refugee status. That's the whole point of it. Yeah. And on a bigger scale, it really just frustrates every fiber of my being whenever I think about the whole reason this country has any agreements like this, any treaties like this for refugees and asylum seekers and everybody in between. It's because they fucked it. They fucked it, and they continue to fuck the countries. They still profit from the shit that happened so long ago, and that has literally you can see the result of actions that took place decades ago continuously happening now, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, you're just supposed to get over it. But on top of getting over it, they're going to pretend that they're being the good guy. Hey, you can come here if you're fleeing the fuck shit that we kind of low-key started a little bit back in the day and benefit from. And our bankers make so much money off of what's happening right now. But you can come over here and get some help. But not, you're poor? No. Oh, you actually made it through? Now we're going to make your life a living hell while you're here. And it's just like... I'm going to be honest. I'm biased too. I am from Kenya. That is where I was born. Kenya is a former British colony. If anyone knows some of the horrors that the British Empire has impacted on the earth, it is me and my relatives. And it really wasn't that long ago that it happened. And literally, Kenya has only had its independence now for about 60 years. My mum was alive when Kenya was not independent. No, it's not even 60 years. It's 58. What was it was 58 this year, I think. Anyway, my mum was alive is what I'm trying to say, while Kenya was not an independent state. Yeah, so I am biased, and that is why it's such a visceral reaction for me. But it also, because I'm always in two minds, right? Because I still consider this my home. All the fuck shit that's in my mind, I'm still very much British at the same time. And so it's like, this is why I get so frustrated and I hate these conversations. I actually do. I used to be fine talking about them before and all the fuck shit's going on, but now it actually just gives me anxiety at this point. Like, it just makes me feel ill talking about these things. Because it's so unfair.
I get that.
And it's so cruel. It's so cruel. Like, you're coming from a war-torn country. You would go anywhere that will allow you to get some help for you and your family if they have survived. And you get treated like this. And it's just like... It's
well, a lot of the people use that argument. It's the first country you land in, isn't it? Like, you're supposed to seek asylum in the first safe country. And people feel, for some reason... the UK wouldn't be the first safe country they all landed in. Because believe it or not, I would imagine if you're Muslim, France is pretty hostile to you at the moment.
Oh my God, do not even go there, mate.
If you think that is a safe country for Muslim people at the moment.
You've not been paying attention.
Yeah, but the argument should be it's probably the same here, but we haven't gone as double-footed on
you can still wear a hijab to school.
Yeah, we could still do that type of thing, but it's them arguments what are used the most, which are very easily deflated with just a statement like that. It's just like, do you believe France is a safe place for a Muslim person? A poor Muslim person? A Muslim person who doesn't speak French?
Don't even. Oh my God. Ooh. I couldn't even imagine it. That level of hostility every single day of your life, I don't even know. And to so many of them, they're like, we'll have to just put up with it. At least my kids are alive. At least I'm not, worried about being bombed or things happening around me. It's just like, why does that have to be the choice, though? Why have you got to be between a rock and a racist? Why? Why is that the choice? Why is that?
England.
Oh. This is why I don't talk about it. I'm sweating. And I feel like my aircon might make too much noise.
Moving on. So, 58. There you go.
Thank you very much. Fast trends. Oh, I've been in the north too long. Fast trends, not fast trend. Thank you. Yes, 58 years. And yes, from Kenyatta to Kenyatta. It's a surname. It's a relative. The current president is also named Kenyatta, which is its own thing. I'm not getting into that. What's going on with Muslims in France? Canada, just do me a favor. Do me a favor. Just Google what's been like the recent law changes in France to do with Muslims, to do with hijabs, parents wearing hijabs to like school events. Like they're literally outlawing everything. Like it's wild. It is wild.
Weren't the hijab banned on a beach like a couple of years ago as well? Like it was just, oh, Jesus Christ. How they don't see the similarities between that and what happened to the persecution of Jewish people like less than 100 years ago, bro.
It's crazy that there's no correlation in their minds. Like they just don't. It's not going in at like it. No, that's different. Oh no, oh my God, anti-Semitism. That's horrible. Look at what you're like. Look at your
same thing, bro.
what is? Honestly, I don't know what's going on. Have you started talking about Bill Cosby? Not yet, although my blood pressure feels like I have. Canada, England, it seems to be the rainy Dubai. I don't know what that means, but I've only ever been to the Dubai airport and it was very nice. Ravi, just to recap, what did Bill Cosby do? We'll talk about it, I guess, briefly, because I can only summarize, guys. I'm not even gonna
rape. He did rape a bunch of times. That's why
there's the summary. There's the summary. There it is. Got it. All right, so let's keep an eye on. This is our next segment of the show. Keep an eye on our allies. The US moving wild. I'm not going to start with Cosby. I'm going to go by my list because I need a break. Oh, this isn't a story to take a break with. The US Supreme Court declines to take up bathroom case in a win for trans rights. So, if you have been aware, there's always been this like bathroom bill situation and discriminating against trans kids in school, in particular, trying to stop trans girls from going to the girl bathroom and trans boys from going to the boys bathroom, which is very weird. I don't know why you're concerned about where a kid is going to pee, but do what you do. So a very, very, very brave and amazing trans boy. Is he a boy or is he a man? I think he's grown up now. 22. He's a man. So Gavin Grimm, he has been suing the Virginia school system because he's like, I wanted to use the boys' bathroom and you stopped me from doing that. Like they did all types of weird shit. Like there was a lot going on. But anyway, he had actually won that case, and the Virginia school as attorneys, tried to take it up to the Supreme Court to continue to appeal it and obviously get it overturned. And we know that the Supreme Court in the US is made up of mostly conservatives now, thanks to the Republicans blocking Obama's appointment of Merrick Garland, and then straight in Trump put in what's his face rapist too. So, I said what I said. That's the only way I'm going to get through this. The only way I'm going to be able to get through this, guys. So yes, everyone kind of panicked when it was suggested that it was going to go to the Supreme Court, because if it's overturned in the Supreme Court, then it's effectively law at that point. It's a precedent that is set, and it's fuck shit, and it means that schools can keep doing the fuck shit that this Virginia school was doing. But the US Supreme Court a couple of weeks ago rejected the Virginia School Board's attempt to reinstate a transgender bathroom ban. Very exciting news. So it means that here the decision that was made there stands, and at present, at least in Virginia, you cannot stop kids going to the loo.
It's weird that is an actual sentence that has to be said out loud. Like, oh God, if you feel this is weird, just remember this is happening in pretty much every southern state in America at the moment. It's not just a one-off. Like Florida, I'm pretty sure Florida passed a bill, was it 2-3 weeks ago, about trans athletes in schools and stuff like that. And I was just like, oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Just let kids be fucking kids, man. It's not that fucking hard.
I just want to know why you are so concerned with the bits of a child you nonce.
Yes.
Leave them alone. If you're worried about people spying on other people peeing, then that's an issue about the structure of the bathrooms in your school, and they need to be changed. Because why should I be able to watch you pee?
Yes. Why urinals are so weird.
Right. If you have cubicles, they should be top to bottom, ceiling to ground. There shouldn't be gaps like traditional. Like even in my school, they had that at secondary school. You had little gaps, you know, people would kind of talk to each other and throw loo roll and all types of shit over the top or the bottom, right? There shouldn't be any gaps. Just close them right back up. That's it. Have normal cubicles. Have just bathrooms that people can use. Who cares at this point in our lives? Global pandemic and all. Who gives a shit where you go to take a shit? Who cares? It's a toilet. It doesn't need certain bits for you to have this and certain. Everyone should have hand wash. Everyone should have a little bin for sanitary shit. Everyone should have a toilet and privacy as they pee or poop or whatever it is they're doing. So just stop. It's weird. And stop being so concerned about children's genitalia and fucking misgendering them and asking for ID and all this weird shit that people have just been. Stop it and let people go to the bathroom in peace. Mike, do you have any final thoughts on this before I move on?
No, I feel that rant pretty much covers everything. Like, just stop being weirdos. Like, just stop being weirdos. It's not that hard. Would you want people to question you when you walk into a room for no fucking reason? No, stop being a weirdo then.
You know, it's funny. I wake up every day and I'm just not a weirdo.
It's like, not hard.
It's not hard, you know.
Oh,
it's actually really not. I don't struggle with that. There's a lot of things I struggle with. You know what I mean? But that,
yeah,
I can just, you know, someone's gone to the bathroom. All right, let me not perv over them then. That's easy.
Yeah,
do that every day. It's just, people,
you don't even think about it. It's that normal, right?
I know, right? I don't even have to like actually force myself to not be a fucking perv. Big up Linda, Mike, decent show as always. Thank you very much. How can you decide you want to be trans if you're 18? I'm not going in there. I'm not, my blood pressure can't take it. I can't even get the word out. My blood pressure can't take that conversation. The world's for the weirdos. Good luck with that. Facts, big facts. That's why I'm always insane. Sheesh, the Bill Cosby talk will bang. So, speaking of pervs,
I'm just laughing at perv, not at the pervy action. Like, just the word perv is funny.
I know. Perv is too nice for this, I think.
Degenerate.
So the story is that yeah, absolutely. The story is that Pennsylvania Supreme Court overturned Bill Cosby's conviction on a technicality. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to summarize who Bill Cosby is, what he did, why he went to prison, why his conviction has been overturned. Okay? Breezing right through this, guys, because my blood pressure is high right now. Okay? So, who Bill Cosby is. Treasured actor. Cosby Show, fantastic.
Comedian.
Shaped a lot of lives for people. Incredible comedian, stand-up and otherwise. Usually pretty much did clean comedy.
Always did clean comedy.
I don't remember him doing anything like adult or whatever. Very, very beloved guy, amazing character, incredible actor, incredible comedian, all of that, all of the good things you could say. He was that to many, many people around the world. Okay, got it? Great. So the next summary, what he did, he drugged and raped a lot of people.
A lot.
and raped a lot of women. We still don't know the full number because so many have come out and so many have been silenced because of the reaction that the ones who did come out got from the public and from the justice system. Okay? So, assaulted many, many women, drugged them without their knowledge, and took advantage of them in every way that you can think of. All of the disgusting, gross things. That's what he did for many years. Okay? Got it? Great. Next summary. He went to prison. Not because of all of the fuck shit he did, but just one. Just one woman's testimony put him in prison. And in that time, he admitted to drugging her. So it's not like people were saying all this stuff and he never admitted to any of it. He admitted to drugging her. Okay? That's the third summary. The fourth summary is his conviction was overturned and he came home the other week. Not because he didn't do it, because of a technicality. Yeah, that's the last.
He did a jig on the way out of prison. He did a little, like, trying to make the camera people laugh, but knows. But the fact that they only charged him on one thing is wild. The fact that that one charge was so easily overturned from, I don't know if it was laziness or incompetence what's caused it. I genuinely don't know why or how, but it seems flimsy at the base of it. I don't understand how.
Very, very flimsy. There's a lot of conversation that it's based on the fact that he is old and, even caught COVID in prison. A lot of people feeling sorry for him. And I think that technicality, his lawyers are just that good. Like, he's got the type of lawyers that go in there that have no concern about what's right and what's wrong. They are in there to play the game. They will get their client what they can. And they did. They did a fantastic job. This isn't a shade. That's the best lawyers in the world. They're the ones who don't think about morality. They think about, how can I find any type of loophole? How can I manipulate the legal and justice system to benefit me and my client? That's what they did, and they did it wonderfully. But yes, it's a very flimsy case, but all you need is a tiny little thread. All you need is a tiny bit. And if you've got good enough lawyers, they will go in and they will stick to it until the whole thing falls apart, which is what has happened here. And his conviction has now been overturned. He's now home. Certain people have been taken up for him, especially Felicia Rashad. That made me so sad, who played his wife, Claire Huxtable, in the Cosby Show, and has played very many things and is a legend. And I am such a fan, and I was so disappointed. Who also happens to be the dean of Howard University's Fine Arts department. And so she's been in some hot water with that because she celebrated on Twitter and saying that, a great miscarriage of justice has been righted. No, he admitted to it. This is a technicality that he's been let off on. It wasn't an overturning and being like, no, he was innocent this whole time. That's not what happened. That's not what happened. And so Felicia Rashad celebrating like that for everybody to see, and then having to walk that back and having to pen an open letter to assure that her incoming students this semester won't have to worry, if they have to report sexual assault or they have to report something of the like, that it won't get taken seriously because she is the head. And we know that the fish rots from the head, and you've got the fucking dean of the school congratulating a serial rapist.
So with him only being charged once anyway, can't they just pick up the other charges? Because he's only been charged once, so it's not.
There's a reason they didn't do them all at the same time. If they could have done them all at the same time, it would have been a much stronger case. But there's a reason. I don't know the exact reason, but it's something to do with it not being as credible, or provable. I don't want to say credible, but provable in some way. Because the defense, what they do is they go for the credibility, right? They try and, act like they were lying, question them over and over again. It's not that so much. It's more what can be proven. And I think they could only do that with this one woman. At least what they saw, prosecutors basically gave up a little bit and were like, this is the one that we can get him on. Let's do that. Hopefully they'll revisit it and try and get him back. I don't know if double jeopardy will, it won't affect it because they can use a different claimant. They can use a different one of the many other women that he drugged and raped. Said all that to say that, it's now been overturned on a technicality. Great work by the lawyers. I wish they'd done it for somebody deserving.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just me. But yeah, Harvey Weinstein's lawyers are like, man, we need to get some of that going on. So that's a good time. But yeah, so cool. That was the Cosby situation. I'm actually surprised I got through that. I don't even think I thought I was like going to cry out of frustration or something. I don't know. Sentiment says, I'm weird, but I'm able to keep a little bit. Yeah, fact. At least even if you can do that, that's all we ask for, you know? Big up, people. Thank you, Dizzy. Big up to you as well. Canna Devil says, I hope Cosby gets hit. Well, all right. Cool. I just want him in jail. That's it for me. But sure, feel how you feel. Linda, you were funny. Thank you very much, Ravi. Let's see. Hey, Linda and Mike. Bill Cosby, I agree. A legend for comedy actor. But as a person, he's wonderful. Agreed. I don't know where Mike has gone, so I'm just going to keep talking and hope that he comes back. Yes. Hopefully he's back soon. Oh, he's back on my end. Okay. Is R. Kelly coming free? You know what? Maybe. Maybe. You never know. That might happen. Hi, Mike.
Yeah. I don't know what happened there. He just booted me.
Yeah, it went like portrait back to normal and then you disappeared.
Yeah.
How does someone think of doing that to women? Do you know what? A lot of men do this to women. A lot of them do, more than we think. And yeah. And then we have people that say the time it happened was too long ago. Yeah, and I'm not saying that you meant it in that way, but I'm saying like a lot of people would say that and then discredit the people that are actually saying it. But I think you're saying it in a way of that's why they didn't pick up the rest of the charges for the charges. Exactly. Why would a lawyer want to defend him? Money.
And notoriety. Like you got to imagine everyone that worked on that O.J. Simpson trial.
Man,
every single lawyer on that defense team basically went superstar after that.
We got Kardashians out of it.
Yeah. Denny Cochran was just yeah, it's just
out of it. So, you know, it happens. Notoriety is important and it means more money. So the money they get now and the long-term money, that's why they would do it. People are really disappointing as a whole. Yes. You get me, sentiment. You understand. All right. So we're still in the keep an eye on segment and we're still in the US. So prosecutors strike secret plea deal with ex-police officer who shot and killed 25-year-old Daniel Hambrick. So this story is in the Detroit News and again, linked in the description. If you would like to read the whole thing, I shall not be because I've already read it and it made me sad. So I'll just do the beginning just so that you know what we're talking about. The mother of a black man fatally shot by a white former Nashville officer sobbed, screamed, and knocked over a courtroom lectern Friday as she begged a judge not to accept a plea deal she says was struck in secret without her knowledge, a chaotic scene that briefly delayed the hearing before the judge accepted the agreement. Former officer Andrew Delkey pleaded guilty to manslaughter over the death of Daniel Hambrick, 25, in 2018 as part of an agreement with prosecutors. Delkey will serve a 3-year prison sentence. As part of the agreement, he won't pursue parole or appeal the case. However, Delkey's defense team said he will likely serve a 1.5 years in jail with standard credits. You can read on using that link to the Detroit News to see how the family reacted as this happened. I believe there's even video footage, which I did not click on. Of course, if you know me at all, I'm not going to look for that. But yeah, so prosecutors now were like, oh, anything will do. Yeah, you killed a guy and you shouldn't have. But yeah, let's strike a plea deal and you can get 3 years, which we know you'll end up serving 1.5. So a black man's life, 25-year-old man's life. Basically a boy, 25 years old, whole life ahead of them. You've done the wrong thing by killing them. 1.5 years in prison.
I don't get it. Like cops, you seem to get the best treatment of all murderers. Like I've never seen anything like it. Like you can murder someone, admit to manslaughter and be 3 in 1.5 years. What the actual fuck is going on with the world? Holy shit. Yeah, it is depressing. It's properly bummed me out, this one. Like, I honestly didn't see or read anything about this before this, and as I'm not shocked because it's the norm, it's still wholly fully depressing. Like,
yeah,
how it can happen to so often, and the people with power do not get any way near the same type of punishment as a normal person would.
And I'd argue they should get more because they have a bigger duty of care. They have more power over us, they have authority over us, and they have weapons that we're not allowed to have. They should be more responsible with them. In my opinion, they should get more time. But even just the same time would be nice. Yeah. I don't know a single person that's been convicted of killing somebody unlawfully and got a year and a half in prison. I don't know where that happens, but okay. Yeah, but again, like you say, it's no surprise. I mean, prosecutors and police work close, hand in hand together. Prosecutors rely on police doing their job and getting evidence and getting everything that they need in order to charge people. And so they don't want to piss them off, and this would piss them off.
I would also argue they're also about their win record. Yes. Prosecutors. If that's the easiest way for them to have that win record in their column, what they can use going forward in their career, that's what they'll take. Absolutely.
And you're right, Canna Devil. Cannabis dealers do get a lot more time than that.
Yeah.
Mike and Linda, are you looking forward to the 3K party? I am very excited. I know that Flawless mentioned it briefly, that because of reaching going over 3,000 subscribers now on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube channel, that there will be some kind of party happening. I don't know any of the details, but I am excited.
I'm always there for a good party, you know me. I'm the life and soul. I'm the life and soul of a party.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Can't wait.
All right. So shall we go to the Olympics very briefly before we head to good news?
So, if it's what I feel what it's about, I don't know if I want
to. I'm going to be in and out again. Like the Bill Cosby thing. I'm just going to be summary out. All right. So swimming caps for Afro hair have been banned from the Olympics. So there's a company that is Black owned that decided to design swimming caps that are a bit bigger that could fit, Afro hair that's bigger, or hair that's in protective styles like locks or twists or braids. In a standard swimming cap, it's just not going to fit.
Not gonna happen.
So, and there are more and more Black women swimmers now in the Olympics. So this company, Ingenious, called Soul Cap, run by a Black woman, I believe. Yes, she is. The company designed swimming caps that could be stretched out a little bit more and were a little bit baggier so that you could get all of your hair in if you have a lot of hair. The people that were decision-making, whatever, I can't remember what they're called, the panel.
FINA is what the name of the actual panel, but I don't know.
Thank you.
What it actually stands for, top of my head.
Who cares? So they decided to ban the use of these specially made Afro hair swimming caps, and the reason they cited was that because we can't imagine why they would need it. I mean, it doesn't fit the usual curvature of the head. That's the reason for banning it.
Right. So are they saying that it's going to be beneficial? No, it's just that it looks funny. It's not that you're going to get better in. Yeah.
They don't understand why you would need it because it doesn't fit the usual curvature of the head. No one else has needed one before. That's their argument. Not that it's going to help, not that it's going to have some kind of fucking motor on the back of it that's going to make you swim faster or catch some air pockets that somehow are going to make you just zoom and win every fucking thing. No, not a benefit. It's weird.
White. That's all I'm going to say. That is a white panel. Honestly, I can't. Yeah, why would you? I wouldn't even think. Why would? Why would you ban it? Why would you, even if you don't understand, why would you ban it if there is nothing that shows that it's going to give you an advantage? Why would you ban it? It's spite to me. I can see how anyone would feel like that. I feel like maybe not spite, just straight up stupidity, maybe, but I would lean closer to your answer than mine. I feel
like that's too stupid. I feel like one or two is stupid, but for the entire panel to feel this way, or at least to vote in a majority that's going to make the decision on behalf of the panel, for me, it's like there's spite in there. There's spite in there because historically, let's be real, if we're talking about massive world games like the Olympics, there have been many people that are discriminated against, right? because they have an unfair advantage. Not Michael Phelps, who has an 8-foot wingspan that is weird.
He also has a body what doesn't produce lactic acid, which means that he can do what he does longer and faster and better than everyone else.
He smokes weed as well. But no, this is, I mentioned that for the next story. We'll be there. You know, all of this stuff, it's like, wow, what an incredible natural advantage. Oh, but wait, let's test the testosterone levels of kids. Oh, wait, no, you can't. You're too high to be a woman. What's the standard for a woman? Is there one? Oh, there isn't one? Oh. That's why I'm saying spite. It doesn't make sense to me that those things are happening at the same time. 2 and 2 will always make 4. I know there's new math, but 2 and 2 will always make 4. And to me, if you are targeting certain people for certain things like testosterone levels and saying that it's a natural, and even though it's a natural production of testosterone, because it's higher, it's an advantage, fucking I've been in the North for too long, advantage. And so now they will have, you know, this advantage over someone else, and that's not fair, but advantages over here with the Michael Phelpses of the world, those are just interesting, and let's make a documentary about it. But yes, absolutely race or whatever. That's why I'm saying spite. It's weird to me. Why does it matter if the cap is slightly bigger to fit more hair? Even if it is just plain ignorance, nah, there's something else in there. It's a little something, there's a little spice in there. There's something mixed in there. That's not just regular salt.
I would argue that the Olympics you might call them global, have always been fairly Western dominated. Like it was, right. So is it possible like they just want more white people to win?
Of course. That's why I'm saying.
Like, it's just listen to it and just as an outlier, where are they based? I believe it's France or Monaco. That's where the headquarters are. Right. So I just don't understand how it's a worldwide organization, right? And it's all not. They do, it's
what's
frustrating more than anything.
The Olympics is very much what has always happened, which is, we don't like that you're coming for our things. No, you can't because of this. You can't because of that. And let's even we just talk about swimming. We talk about like, you know, segregated pools and like, you know, Black people not really being allowed. Like if we talk about the States, if we talk about a lot of Western Europe, Black people not being allowed to swim in the same pools as white people, right? And then not having any, you know, making Black areas or people of, you know, people of color as well, because it wasn't just Black people, it was Asian people, etc. But areas where predominantly people of color had been pushed into and moved to were always very, very poor and could not afford public pools in those areas. That happened. And as I said earlier in the show, there's a causation. Things lead to things, right? And there is a pattern of behavior that, yes, we can talk about progression and we can talk about how things are very different now and how you can do whatever you want. But only on their terms. Not if your testosterone levels are too high, though. Not if you need a slightly bigger swimming cap to fit all your hair in, though.
Yeah, right? That's led me to the other point that the FINA raised. They said if Soulcap wish to carry on production of this, we will let them work with us so we can look at So if that doesn't tell you everything you need to know, it's just because it's been done outside of their purview. Like, no, they're not making a cut or they've had any say or anything like that.
A Black woman had the audacity. That's what it is. They should have just said that as the phrase. This Black woman had the audacity. That's the reason for me. Anyway, I'm not putting that on anyone. I'm just saying that's how I feel about what they've said. Because normal curvature of that. Listen. All right. Next story, the Olympics. Sha'Carri Richardson suspended for 30 days and taken off Olympics list for the women's 100 meters for testing positive for THC. The only story I have about this is because, look, you know, people have been saying rules are rules. Yeah, cool. Rules are rules. Even if they don't make sense, rules are rules. Fine, cool, whatever. I am just incredibly impressed that I watched this girl run 100 meters in 10.86 seconds and she had weed in her system. I can't do shit with weed in my system. How does she run like that? What? Are we just glossing over that? Everyone's talking about how unfair it is and the rules and all of this stuff and how, you know, terrible it is. Yes, no, all of that, fine. But guys, can we talk about that for a minute? That's super impressive.
it's not only impressive, I don't think it's possible to call weed a performance-enhancing drug unless you have just run 100 meters in 10 point whatever seconds. That's that outlier. No one in their right mind should be able to do that.
How? How? And what I want to know is, after this suspension, and obviously she's missed these games now, but I want to see her run with absolutely no weed in her system, because can she go faster than that? Weed slows you down. So surely, can she do 9.86 seconds? Like, can she do, like, how?
They'll find another reason. Don't worry about that.
Oh, yeah. Did you see that very racist lady? I wasn't even going to talk about this, but I'm just going to breeze past it. I'm not going to say her name. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to move right past this one. A very racist lady that was talking about her nails, which are acrylic nails, and her hair, which is a lace front, and how that they would be growing that long because of steroid use. I mean, this lady has got bright orange lace front on. Yes, it's styled very well, but it is a lace front nonetheless. It is a wig, okay? And she has acrylic nails that are so obviously acrylic and very long and got all types of patterns and shit on them. And very long fake eyelashes, right? Looking fabulous. Every bit of going to a club, but running 10.86 on a fucking track. And you want to say that's steroid use? Not a good beauty supply. Not a good nail salon.
I didn't realise that your nails got hench when you did steroids. I never heard that correlation before. I heard muscles and stuff, Joe, made but not stuff made out of the same stuff, like your hair, your nails, are made of creatine, aren't they? Like, that shit's not going to grow any quicker because of steroids. You're dumb.
Man. Sorry, Canada will cracked me up here. He says, "How can the Olympics be bad news?" Spoke too soon. And he said, "Does his body really not produce lactic acid? Yeah. That's really literally a superpower." Yeah, it does, but not in the same way as like swimmers. So when
it's minute, isn't it? Like,
yeah, if you're anything that you do that requires putting strain on your body, you'll release a certain amount of lactic acid in order to do some shit, and that's why you have to rest and all that kind of shit. His body doesn't really do that, so that's why he's just able to just keep going.
He produces a tiny amount, and he breaks it down nearly at the same point. He produces it like it's a properly weird anomaly, and he's made full advantage of that. Like, it's crazy.
As you should, though. Anything that comes naturally to you, if it does enhance your performance, that's what talent is. That's what skill is to me. Yes, there's the practice side of it, absolutely. But natural born talent, the people that at 3 years old can play fucking piano, can play Mozart and Beethoven and all type of shit. That's not that's life. That's a natural advantage. I'm just
people are dumb.
Like, there's no point in doing this, because if you feel a certain way, you're going to feel that way anyway, whether it makes sense or not.
No, apparently it was just a normal weed joint. Like, it weren't laced with anything, Canny Devil. Like, it was just a normal. I get the joke.
Yeah, I get but like making a joke because of the 10.86. But yeah, no, it was just THC that was in a system. Nothing mad. All right, should we go to the good news?
I guess.
I'm really hot. I'm going to turn my aircon on. Hang on. Hopefully that won't disturb anybody, but if it's loud on the mic, please tell me, Mike. Yeah,
I can't hear it.
Okay, it's not on yet. It's not on properly.
No, that's probably why.
That will be why. All right, good news. I was really, really clutching at straws here, guys. So bear with me. But all new hairdressers in the UK will learn how to cut Afro hair as part of the newer curriculum on hairdressing.
That makes common sense to me. Like, honestly. Like, it doesn't seem like it would be that weird that you have to learn how to cut different types of hair. Like, if your job is to cut and style hair, surely you should be able to do it with every type of hair if you've been trained. Yeah, okay, people are weird. There we go.
I'm not even going to add to it because it's not going to be anything constructive. It's just going to be rude.
No.
Let me move on.
Yeah.
And the next bit of good news, I told you I was clutching at straws. It's coming home.
Apparently.
First time in 55 years, we're at the final Sunday tomorrow. Jesus, tomorrow, facing Italy. I'm not even eating pasta. I'm not even fucking with anything Italian. I'm not trying to put bad vibes.
I'm getting my pasta in today.
No,
I'm getting my pasta in today, and tomorrow it's just pies and pints solely.
Oh, I see. So tomorrow it's going to be all English food tomorrow. Man, I might make some Yorkshires and all sorts. Tomorrow it's going to just be roast. I never make a roast anymore, but it might have to be. It might have to be tomorrow.
Yes, it should be.
Yeah, so it's coming home. Come on, England. The lads are doing fantastic. Sterling is wilding out here. considering how much abuse he gets, I'm surprised he still shows up like he does, but he does. I don't know enough about players, but I thoroughly enjoy watching, in particular, Harry Kane and Jack Grealish and Marcus Rashford and Raheem Sterling. That's all I have for you. I know a couple of other names. I don't know what they do. They're just guys on a pitch. Yeah. I don't really watch football like that, if you can't tell. So, but I usually don't watch.
I usually don't watch international football, but it happens every tournament. After that first game, I well and truly get caught up in it. I'm like, yes, let's have it. I've not watched anything but England. I watched some Scotland and Wales games early on, but like they're the only games I've watched, and it feels weirdly good to have some type of pride within a national team again. Like the last time it happened was when England cricket team was like #1 in the world briefly, like 6 years ago. Like, so it makes a nice change, and I don't feel like I'm going to shave my head and start punching people. What a difference to me, which is nice again, when it comes to it.
It's so easy to wake up and not do that. Isn't it easy to just wake up and not do that? Like, that's just insane how the world works. But no, I agree with you. I'm very much behind the England team. The England team has impressed me, and I'm so in awe of that kind of determination. And win or lose tomorrow, I mean, I'm not saying anything about lose. We're going to win. But win or lose tomorrow, those lads have really, at a time that's been insanely difficult as well, not to mention, you know, what they go through every day as people of color, or just in general, people in the industry, not industry, but people that are well-known celebrities.
Professional football is just still open widely for abuse, and it happens.
Exactly. And in spite of all of that, we've all been coming out of this pandemic together, and they're still behaving like that. They're still putting in that much work and that much effort and still killing it. I'm so proud of those boys. I think they're incredible lads. And I will 100% be supporting them tomorrow. And I know I just know we're going to win. I just know it's coming home.
It's coming home.
And that is the good news, guys. That's the good news. It's coming home.
Happy days.
Happy days. Right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. If you have been staying in with us for the live version of this, and you've been watching and commenting and all of that, thank you so much. Appreciate you. If you're watching this later, thank you for listening or watching wherever you are. Mike, do you have anything you would like to finish up with or promote or whatever?
Yes, hopefully. So the last episode of Loki is coming up this week. Hopefully the Red Line Live will be back on Friday, so we can talk about this whole Loki series, which I have thoroughly enjoyed. So hopefully this week, Red Lion, about 8 o'clock-ish, I believe. But there we go. Can't wait. It's nice. This is my first time I've been on a live, in nearly a month and a half. So this has been really pleasant. Thank you for that as well.
Oh, amazing. I'm so glad the Red Line. And do you know how much I missed the Red Line on a Friday? That's such a good time for me. Guys, if you haven't seen a Red Line picture live before, please go to Red Line Picture on YouTube. Subscribe right now. Turn on your notifications. And as soon as they go live on a Friday, because sometimes it's 8, sometimes it's 7:30, it depends. Just like this show, it depends. You get the notification, you can go on straight away and watch. They're great. I haven't been watching Loki at all because I wanted to binge it. So I will be binging Loki
ahead of Friday,
so that I can enjoy the show with you guys and know what's going on. So yeah, I'm very excited about that. Great. As far as me, guys, so if you don't know already, I have a podcast called Pod of Mercy. A new episode went out this Wednesday just gone, and it features Paris, who's an incredible person, incredible rapper, also the owner of the battle rap league called No Loose Chat. And I had a really good chat with her about imposter syndrome and how it's affected either of us in our lives. Really good conversation. I've had loads of people on Pod of Mercy, been very happy and blessed and lucky and fortunate to have some incredible guests, including Mike here. So please go check it out at Pod of Mercy on Twitter and Instagram. Links in the bio and all of that to go find it wherever you listen to your podcasts. And follow me at Linda Shapoopy on Twitter. That's it. Oh, sorry, we didn't have a Talk About It Network live for June. We couldn't get our schedules together, but there will be one for July. We're going to make it happen. So the end of this month, there will be a Talk About It Network live special to cover all of the story and the viral shit that's been going on in July. I'll also pick some highlights from June because June was also mad. I'll pick some highlights just to throw in there at the beginning so that we can all laugh and have a good time. But thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening and for watching and for commenting. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. It's coming home.